Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the old Den of Tools. And today we're here to give you that insider information, what 99% of you don't know about the history, the story, the truth behind the Crescent Tool Company. Well, to start the story, we got to go back, way back to 1903. And the foundings of this company start way back in Jamestown, New York. There it was originally called, or I should say this company was called the J.P. Danielson Company, founded by J.P. Danielson, go figure, and one Carl Peterson. Now, the company produced pliers and wrenches, and it was well known for their lightning wrench. But things, how things go with business and partnerships and such. And in 1907, the company was dissolved and its assets were taken over by Carl Peterson and Edward Worcester. They basically, I think Carl bought out the partnership, started a new company with Edward, and they founded the company called the Crescent Tool Company. Again, still in Jamestown, New York. Now, don't feel bad for JP there. He didn't end up being like the fifth Beatle or anything. He actually ended up starting his own business. Again, calling it, guess what? The J.B. Danielson Company, because you could do stuff like that back then. Anyway, he went on to make more tools. He ended up selling that company to Plum, who actually eventually became Proto. So he did just fine. Don't be worrying about him, all right? Anyway, The Crescent Tool Company's first products, again, were pliers and such, and they continued their production of the lightning wrenches, but soon they became very well known for their take on the adjustable wrench. Now, to be clear, a lot of people think that that Crescent invented the adjustable wrench, and that is not true. Now, where they are well known for that wrench, and it's become ubiquitous around here. In fact, so much so that pretty much it became known as, just the Crescent wrench. I call it a Crescent wrench all the time. I know it doesn't matter who makes it, what name's on it, how the bear is. I'm still going to call it a Crescent wrench because I'm old and curmudgeony like that. That said, the claim for the invention for the adjustable wrench goes back to England, to Richard Clyburn, who claims to have invented it in 1842. And, of course, it didn't look exactly like it does today, but you can see the beginnings there. Now, this claim is contested by one Edwin, get this, Edwin Beard Budding. I can't make this stuff up. But he's the same guy who invented the push mower. And as someone who's used one of these, I say, screw that guy. We're giving the nod back to Richard. He gets it, because anybody who invents this torture machine has no place on my lists. Anyway, moving on from there, there were many people actually, in fact, even the people in Sweden who claimed that the wrench originally came from there, and there's stories that Carl got his inspiration from a visit from somebody from Sweden who was describing the wrench to him. So that said, there's a lot of different stories here and there. This wrench was actually made by a company called Really? Who can pronounce these things? I can't. Bear can't. That's for sure. Anyway, later they were called Baco. So anyway, moving on. The real pickup for the real get you going kind of thing for Crescent was with Ford Motor Company when automobiles in Detroit took off, because every Model T after 1908 was shipped with what they called the motor kit, and in every motor kit there was a Crescent slip joint pliers and a Crescent adjustable wrench. How about that? That's a way to get your name out there, isn't it? In 1915, Crescent was assigned a patent in the U.S. for their take on the design. And as I said before, at this point, pretty much everyone was just calling them Crescent wrenches. They become ubiquitous. They become just the go-to wrench. Now, in 1926, Crescent acquired Smith and Hemingway, my pronunciation, a tool company in Irvington, New Jersey. Now, Smith and Hemingway had been making pliers, chisels, screwdrivers, and related tools for years under their brand Red Devil. That's what they were most known for. Now, the purchase of this company allowed Crescent to more than double the size of their catalog, and allowed them to produce even more tools, a wider variety of tools. Tools including linesman's pliers, fencing pliers, needle nose, and others. In fact, they even made this little gem here. This, I know it looks like a screwdriver, right? Well, it's got a trick to it. You flip a little switch and you think, oh, T-handle screwdriver. Not just that, it was actually sold as a combination screwdriver hammer. And I know, I'm like, when do I also need a hammer while using a screwdriver? Maybe you can think of a couple times you might need it. Personally, I think those are two tools that do not go together. If you're driving screws, you don't need to have a hammer there because, you know, frustration, all that. Just a bad call, which is probably why we don't see these on store shelves today. Real quick, though, I do want to say, trying to find a picture of this was next to impossible. I did find it on Appalachian Axeworks. I don't know these people. I'm not associated with them. I just happened to find their website, and it seems they restore older tools and then sell them. Really cool website. Check them out. Anyway, moving forward. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh, on the first solo flight across the Atlantic, he said he only took gasoline, sandwiches, a bottle of water, pliers, and a crescent wrench. I mean, have you seen this plane? If you get a chance, if you go to DC, you go to the Smithsonian Air and Space, you got to check out the Spirit of St. Louis. It's a fantastic plane. You just be stunned. There's no forward viewing out of this thing. He flew all the way there, landed, took off, landed, all that, just viewing out those little tiny side ports. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Although I think there was some sort of periscope thing. I don't remember. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it was an incredible feat, and, you know, Crescent was along for the ride. In 1930, Crescent launched a new brand called Crestoli, anyway, a set of tools made with a proprietary heat-treated steel alloy that was then chromium plated. These tools were created at the request, allegedly, of the U.S. Army Air Corps, as the tools were stronger and as well as being more corrosion, and rust resistant. Now, in 1935, Captain A.W. Stevens carried a Crescent toolkit in his balloon when he set a new altitude record. You're going to see a theme here. When people are going places and they can only carry a few tools, the crescent wrench, aka the adjustable wrench, seems to be a go-to. And when they do take one, they take a crescent wrench. Now, in 1938, the U.S. is off to war, and Crescent goes with them. Let's face it, as I just said, you don't have to haul a whole toolbox of wrenches and whatnot, where you could take one that's always the perfect size. Now, 100% of Crescent's production during the war went towards the war efforts. Now, post-war, Crescent rode out the economic wave along with everyone else, and it was a booming wave. Money and people expansion, people getting into DIY, people coming back from the war with trade skills they didn't have before, wanting to do things for themselves. And the Crescent catalog expanded along with this economic expansion. At this point in 1957, the catalog was a 60-page book packed full with pretty much any hand tool that you could imagine. Now, up to this point, Crescent had been family-run, but in 1960, Marvin Peterson, the son of Carl Peterson, sold the company to a group of investors, and it was renamed the Crescent Niagara Corporation. Now, for those of you who may be bummed with the son selling out, you know, he found ways to console himself. That said, this group quickly moved to expand their holdings, such as in 1962, they bought Billings and Spencer Tool Manufacturers in Hartford, Connecticut. In 1963, they bought Barcolo Tools, who, while being a tool company, is better known for their patent for the Barcoliner reclining chair. Now, that, to be clear, that part of the company had been sold off 3 years prior to a furniture company, and Crescent just bought the remaining tool company. In 1968, Crescent Niagara was sold off to Cooper Industries, who held it essentially up until today, because that's where things get interesting, because Cooper continued to grow and expand the line for the next 40 years, but in 2010, Cooper merged with the Tools and Components division of Danaher Corp to form the Apex Tool Group. Now, before we get into that part of the story, I want to talk about the sponsor for today's video, and that is Extra Wallets. If you guys don't know or don't remember, I've been carrying an Extra wallet now for over a year, and I gotta say, I absolutely love the minimalist design of this thing. I was a bit skeptical. It seemed kind of gimmicky at first. It's got this little button down the corner that when you press it, the cards pop out. It's got a little shell that it sits in there. Apparently, it riffed protects your cards as well, which is nice. For me, it's the portability, the slimness, the minimalist. I don't like having a big fat wallet sitting in my back pocket or anything like that. In fact, I carry in my front pocket these days. It's safer, smarter that way. Anyway, they've got a whole design of different wallets and such with all sorts of cool features. There's even a little card you can get like this thing that will allow you to track your wallet in case you lose it. So if you get a chance, go over there. Yeah, they're not inexpensive, but it's one of the few things I indulge myself. Pens, wallets, and sunglasses. Those are the only three things I really kind of spoil myself on. And this is definitely one of the ones I like. I carried a Coach wallet for years. I like the leather. The leather in this is phenomenal. Also, I should point out they're having a summer sale. If you use code SUMMER25, like it says up top, you get 25% off. They have free shipping, free returns, and also you can qualify to get a free money clip. Anyway, moving on. These days, Apex Tool Group is a massive company. They control over 30 brands with companies or brands under their banner such as Allen, Armstrong Tools, Crescent Gear Wrench, Jacobs Chucks, Lufkin, Plum, Seda, Weller, and others. I would not be surprised if a lot of the tools that you use are not actually Apex tools because they make over 40,000 tools and they also act as an OEM manufacturer for many other brands. So even if you don't think you're buying one of their brands, you're probably still buying an Apex hand tool in many cases. Most of their tools are made in the US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, China, of course, and South America. But that said, we're here to talk about Crescent, so let's jump into that. Crescent today, the brands under the Crescent are Wiss, Lufkin, Nicholson, HK Porter, Jobbox, and Apex, Crescent Apex. So they have a lot of great tools, and I know one of the biggest questions are they made in the U.S.? And the reality is the majority of tools sold under the Crescent brand are not made in the U.S. In fact, you have to look pretty hard to find the ones that are. So we're here to help you find out those ones that are, because I know that's important to a lot of you. So the first thing you want to do, look on the packaging, look on the tool. It will say, if it's USA made, it will say right on the tool, USA. It may be printed, it may be embossed, it may be etched, but it's usually going to be on the front, usually right near or around the Crescent name. If it's not USA made, you're not going to find it anywhere on the tool. One of the things I want to point out is on all of these adjustable wrenches over here, you will see an arrow pointing in one direction. The foreign made, the USA made, they all have that same indication. And the reason for that is it's important with an adjustable wrench to turn it in a specific direction. You always want to go so that it's going clockwise towards the solid end, not the adjustable end of the wrench, because that's where a lot of the pressure goes, is right on that corner right there. You don't want to put it on the loose piece, I should say, or the adjustable piece right here. This is a rule that applies only to adjustable wrenches. Now, a lot of people seem to think that the same rule kind of applies, that there's a direction when it comes to open-end wrenches. And the reality is, if there was, they would probably put an arrow on it, which they don't. We've covered this in a separate video. For those of you who think that that rule applies to other types of wrenches, it does not. It only applies to the adjustable wrench, and it's only because of that one piece being a snap-in, a screw-in piece, and being less robust, shall we say. Anyway, let's talk more about the tools that are made in the U.S. And you know what? Wrenches are a big portion of that. I went through their entire catalog. Let me tell you, they have a huge catalog. And I went searching for all the groups of tools that have the most USA made stuff. And by far, wrenches are where it's at, with 45 out of 48 of the categories in wrenches being US made. So if you're looking for USA made tools here or USA made wrenches, you can definitely look at Crescent. Now, next up is going to be heavy duty cutters, where 43 out of 48 are made in the US, which is honestly a surprise to me, because most companies that do make some stuff in the US and some stuff overseas, the cutters are usually one of the first things that are made overseas. I was surprised. Next up is shaping. where the majority of their shaping products are made in the U.S. They have some that aren't, but the vast majority are made here. Their cutting tools, you look about 2/3 there are made in the U.S. Maybe less. Anyway, 25 versus 17 of the cutting tools are made in the U.S. Next up, we've got clamps. The vast majority of their clamps are USA made, which again was a surprise to me because quite often this kind of stuff is outsourced overseas. Storage, the job box line is almost entirely made in the U.S. So if you're looking for stuff like that, you can be assured that when you buy it here, you're getting USA made. Another thing I want to cover real quick is the warranty. Now, Apex does warranty these tools for a lifetime warranty, be free of defects in materials and workmanship. A lot of people get confused by this lifetime warranty thing. They think it's the lifetime of the tool. That would essentially be a forever warranty, because if it ever broke, they would fix it. Or if it broke, it would be no warranty, because if it broke, then the tool's lifetime is over and it's not covered. That doesn't make any sense. The lifetime is your lifetime. As it says right here, Apex warrants to each original customer of the product sold by Apex that such products are at the time of delivery to the customer free of material and workmanship defects. Anyway, that's hand tools. Again, it's going to be different for torque wrenches and other products and stuff like that. But that's what they mean when they say lifetime warranty. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's the history and the up-to-date current status of Crescent Tools. They were one of the gems, if you would, of tool manufacturing in New York. And unfortunately, like many tools that we've seen these days, they've not carried the banner quite as high as they could have. I will say this. They're doing better than a lot of other ones. There's a lot of other ones who got sold out and are completely gone from the U.S. They at least still have some manufacturing in the U.S. As far as the adjustable wrenches themselves, they are made in both Sumter, South Carolina, and in China. You got to look on each individual package and make sure that when you're buying one, you know which one you're getting. Anyway, if there's anything else you think the Bear didn't cover that should have been covered, put it down in the comments below. If there's another company you want the Bear to highlight, you think that people aren't getting the full backstory on, let me know about that as well. Also, hope you can join us for Sunday Night Tool Talk Live. We had a great turnout this past weekend. It was a 100K celebration kind of live stream. We gave away a bunch of products. This weekend, I'm hoping to give away one of the extra wallets if you're interested in that. Again, we haven't done a lot of these giveaways, but I'm going to start doing them a little bit more, but I'm not going to advertise them. I'm not going to you're not going to see it in the thumbnail or in the title or anything like that. We're not going to talk about it at the beginning. It's for those of you who are the true blue viewers who watch all the way to the end, that kind of stuff. So anyway, hope you can tune in this Sunday. That's all the Bear has for you today. Hey, and also don't forget to like and subscribe, chomp the old like button, ring the bell. Make sure you subscribe so you get all the great content that we have here in the Den of Tools. Looking forward to growing to another 100,000 here, and who knows how long it'll take. But we're just happy to be here and happy to have you all as part of our community. Anyway, till next time, you all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.